I'm the fucking Katawa ninja. Play, baby. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl curiously wearing a boy's uniform with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuffed firmly on the end. Hey, hold on. This odd way of drawing seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hand, but her presence here was what takes me a bet even more. How did I miss her before? He's sitting in the corner very still, but I still saw him took. Fuck! Shit, I might have to shoot my shit. I still somehow took a as part of the furnishing or statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in her headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. Staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think my shit. This weird stalemate, keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? Fucked up. Fuck game up. Okay, so we get up. The girl stuffs the fork full in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. It's a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here for some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there'd be somewhere out here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raised her eyebrows as if she was expecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant. I guess it does. But who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. Isawa Nakai. Just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka-rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Deadpan manner of talking makes it harder to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and what this girl is. She seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch if you don't mind me? I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch goes already over for today. What word would you use then? There's no word for a meal you eat after lunch but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too. But I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry, it's very delicious. It's much decisiveness. Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes with at least as much impoliteness. She points it straight at me. So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, that's cool. From outside, you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth, but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer a question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that now making issues of this is a part of the school code, social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances either, or Lily's either. Actually, while I go through this in my head, Ren keeps considering what my condition could be, with no overtly. Yeah. What? Not right now. Get out of my room. Close my door. Another time. Some sure. Get out of my room. Okay, get out of my room. Jesus. Ren keeps considering what my condition could be with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head. And something in your cuts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine, less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and this sheer lack of tact was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back in physically as Ren's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right, there's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I could think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. I said it, more like blurted out, but I said it. The girl in front of me pursed her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants had been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh, so you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. With little left to say, Runner resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what was said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else, or didn't need to know about it like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. That's a disgusting thought. What a disgusting thought. Maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walk back to the rooms and pick up the items on Misha's list, Chance opens the study rim from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible in arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty, except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep walls. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabinet and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable. So I try to force some conversation out with this strange girl. So, do you always eat alone, this late? Or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors. Maybe you're my first occasional visitor. I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh, that's all I could think of to say. Both of us fall silent again, as Rin forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Mish's list. Seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. It's very nice of you. Don't feel obligated to stay. Obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're gonna do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be gone. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Hisao. Then you are. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you is there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple times. I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. Quietly back out of the room as I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing passant. From inside, I hear muffled a sing-song voice. I heard that. What did she hear? I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she got into jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy. I remember that. But I pushed that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited. No, wait, more importantly, who's in there? There's no club meetings today. He tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long, they have to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Ichan. She wags her fingers at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you're tardy. Sorry, I got the things here. I was just gonna bring them. I think you were up to some mischief, Ichan. Who was in there with you, I wonder? Misha shines something quickly to Shizune, pointing out her own gear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushed her away past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she's experiencing, with Shizune's diligence and attitude. The insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Ren, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders, from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots her very low to stare at me too, as if somehow it was my fault that Ren is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello? Ren's voice comes from the other side of the door. It takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Ren directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello? Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such disgraceful activity. It sure is very suddenly crowded here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about the turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulders, points at Ren, and makes some quick signs. Popularity your side, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how is your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Ren looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure. Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. And? We'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It would be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha on top. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true though, I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends are usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my map to unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are those apocalyptic consequences. But she walks back into the art classroom. She had nothing to do. Would you give me a hand? Fuck, this paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks slightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway. Me and the paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now. Shizune and Misha gone, so we two leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arm from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I'm walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast. I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods courteous to Ren, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because it's me who he has some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. About your medications, since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. You come to see me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the cans to the floor before answering. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but I didn't realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students, parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school. Both the student base and the faculty seems to be very tightly knit. I At least that's a feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but this way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? And not as such, I just happen to know a few people, but that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift a can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tessica, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by my shoulder without waiting for Ren's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still in your first week and all. Please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? No, yes, sure. Yeah, I promise, definitely. He studied me for a moment and then shrugged, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consolation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation. See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Ren, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medication for your heart, you think? Are you listening? He comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Ren's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Ren is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further, nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with disability. We leave the main building and Rin leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has a circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall, made up of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more unfinished. Their human face and legs and hands, I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground beside of the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from our class are helping me with the negative spaces and base surfaces or whatever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around and makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student bases, the special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already and just keeps blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there is something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted and then it has to dry and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this? Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumbled with my words, suddenly feeling like I walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blushed really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels that I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? My feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, flat, like some people are. No substance, no meat, where there should be some. I know a few girls who... Some people are... I know a few girls who... Okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms, so I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders without saying, shoot yourself. Without saying it, and looks up at the sky, trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at sports tracks, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help though. Just mixing some paint, you could do that probably. Do you have motor control problems? Like, those people who have some cerebral palsy maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for some reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. Open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents in shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the cans to the bowl like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work every now and then, asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, and mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter before she's satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green, this green. I carefully pour some of the other green paints in a mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash, more white. Is green a good color to add? No idea, you're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corners of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just that I have no idea. It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I found myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on a plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints crouching down on the paving and just looking at it work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works with details, adding layers of paint on top of the other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird, impromptu code words for various paints and hues, as if there is some need to conserve words and breath and sound. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Mango, 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 mango. Happy the game? Sure. Run route. Completed. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I haven't already. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause. The culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they're gonna let me get away that easily. The nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medication, then put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my conditioning, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. I had to order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way. Feel like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. Start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic leg girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track, lively like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. Let me think. Damn. Like the one bitch I can't know. I can't fucking remember. We only saw her for a bit, though. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog, just like he is oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health, and it's prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I'd be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Good morning, your name is Hisa, right? Wait, they didn't say her name, it was Twin Circles, right? No, I don't fucking remember. She grins, seemingly pleased that she had remembered my name. You may not remember me. Emi. Yeah, right, they did say it. I knocked you over in the hallway yesterday. Okay. My shit's bugging out. How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Amy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose I'll be fine. Great. I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse is talking about, is that actually you? That's right. Oh, I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What are you saying? I don't look like I could be a spy? No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid you would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-head transfer student who looks like he's kind of lost around the track. So why are you down here? Amy strikes a dramatic pose. Training! For what? Track. You see, you're on the track team then. Amy nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners too. And modest about it too. Hey, shut up. It's good exercise, you know. I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. No, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know. It's true, I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seemed pleased. Are you gonna warm up? Real men don't warm up. Oh no, you always should warm up. Bad Hisao. She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer. I hate warming up too. Heck, I don't even have to stretch my legs. As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blade seems to be quite elastic. Let's go. So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Amy moved fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I found myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread, right? And something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heels. I try to match my strides to Amy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Amy could help me out with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Amy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice that I stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Finished already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape right now. Amy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time, you just have to try to hold out longer, and then longer, and eventually you'll be great. I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm going to get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Amy shrugs unconcernedly. Nah, I've got plenty of time. I noticed that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? With a careless shrug. Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Isao. Yeah, see ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment is a success or failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. Like Amy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice at least to feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I have to try to keep this up. Mango. Fuck! I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off. And get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow appeared within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It burst through the fog. Why are you here, Genji? Sup? What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem? I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What do you mean all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me. But Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up then. Why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through the fog? You know, your room and, yeah, that's it. Hey, I still had to get up, though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as window pane inside his glasses. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow, it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. Say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with little success. Money, sure. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it? Can't you just give it to me because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you're in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint. In the end, isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold my payment, since his thoughts were so clearly impure and his intentions are probably even more sinister, since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much then. I'm offended, man, but that's your game? Then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order pizza. I already have most of the cost of pizza. I need your help for the rest. I get some of that pizza too, right? No. Are you serious? Yeah, I would give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat the pizza. What about you? I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy, then eat it. It's not easy. You have to pay the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and they'll ask you for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a piece. Then you're left pizza-less in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know. Every day, I plan my vengeance so that when the people who wrong me order a pizza, I'll be there, ever vigilant. Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened last time I went out with carefully planning out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something. Standing? Maybe wondering how I got there? And then I don't know what happened. Like a flash of lightning. Splitting the sky. Like how you split a sandwich into 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird cracked my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life. It was the first. He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. He he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me. It was like in the openings of some kind of anime show. You know how there's always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival, they fly at each other in class swords, and there's like big dramatic colored auras and zoom? It was like that, but with poo. Okay? So yeah, I need some money. Please, don't leave me hanging, man. I only need like 1,000 yen. I thought it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear. Better. That's what it means to borrow stuff. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. I have 1 week. Ah, God. Kenji winces and makes noise like a dying cow. Particularly disturbing fact given that his baton is conductly freely. You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brother and arms. Man, men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half of what female porn stars make? That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star. So maybe I am a porn star on the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. You can't even spot me your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody. Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? This feminist agenda stuff again? This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is serious here. Feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake. You take them lightly, and you wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep? Women are terrible at stabbing things. I thought you just said you don't take them lightly. Well, I mean, I don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and the feminist force on the other, it would be pretty ugly. That day will come, when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers." You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? I mean, it would have to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with a woman only in it. Who said it was on Earth? I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces on a mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. He can't see me from this distance away. Which unfortunately means that he just keeps on rounding without any regard to sense or sensibility. Yeah, there's a war going on. A war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we'll have to pick sides. We'll have to make a strand, in fact. It's happening right now. Imagine the bloody battlefield of vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly. I grew tired of the bleedness of a fight. When I mistook the time, the power went out for the feminist right and I thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would all be over. And I was like, whoa. And I knew I had to get serious because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. It's my duty. But then I realized if I gave up, it would all be over. And I was like, whoa. And I knew how to get serious because I am the last. Did I not just read this shit? I did. Must be a pretty crappy movement if all hinged on one naked guy rancing in the bathroom at another naked guy. So can I have the money? He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked and I want to go to class. So I agree to spot on the money. Awesome. Thanks, dude. We should go bowling later on. Bowling? Yeah, it's an ultimate sport. There's almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manly sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes or the pastel green with flower accents? For bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you had better pay me back. I can pay you back and stuff, right? I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in the way. No, sorry, yeah, I don't want to hold you up. I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. Time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come. For what? I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it. I was just going to, and what does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So? I have to be alone or I can't go. The pressure. Okay, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. I give him my practice frown and it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. That is time I'll never get back. I'll get it for this somehow. But right now, I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up with my head at the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good a reason as many as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside in the hallway. and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant, as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I considered doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her shirt collar, as if it was of importance to look prim when entering her classroom. Excuse me. She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Sao, good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious that I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell her too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep till now. Oh, have you seen Hanako today by any chance? No, she seems to come in only just before the bell rings. Or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine, that's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here. I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing. I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon. And today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today. Hi! Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hee-chan! Hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello. Lee smiles, probably amused by Misha's or Shizune's use the word look. Good morning. Nagi, nigga. Of course, you're not the representative of the class, right? I'm not. Lee seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. Guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realized that Lily might actually not know Shizune's present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is, to know who she's talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the only one that actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here even earlier than us. Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival's coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for the events. Even the first years, except you. Every other class. Who's the fucking class rep? Isn't it this bitch? Fucking, Shizune? Wahaha! There's still time to hand it in, isn't there? Or is Lily the class rep? Are you looking at me? Today, the deadline's today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had to do it my way, I'd have had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Someone had to say the deadline, please. Yes, that was me. Planning something on the scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect the whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hand on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she is really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Isao, it's alright. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I forgot about it. I understand how important it is. Then, can I have it, please? She might not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class. What is this bitch's disability? I just peeped. We'll probably find out. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Chizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have got around, so now she's using me as ammo against Chizune. It just gets better and better. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away. So she's in a different... Wait, why is she in this class then? So she's in a different class. And she's a class rep of that class. But she was in like the school rep or some shit. Or the grade rep, or whatever the fuck's called. It's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they cannot come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Lily, don't they live here at the school? It's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they have possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misa tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said that's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she is doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she is becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see her. See how excited she is. Of course you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of sarcasm which they are meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear, but this seems a little too much. It seems like Lily just had enough and is ready to push back. Oh shit. The battle of the death. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you have to track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right, the difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. Air between them ripples with the heat of it. I just still don't know what that word means. Enmity. Let's search it up. Come on. Learning new vocab on the daily. Enmity. State or feeling of being actively opposed. State or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile or something. How do you pronounce that?
Enmity.
Enmity. Either enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Hee-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then, excuse me, I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. No, I don't want you, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Shizune, bro. You little kid bitch, bro. Like, come on, leave Lily alone, bro. She's nice. Don't cut me and Lily some slack. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decided to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses, excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her part, and we have repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refuse to commit yourself to making the festival a success. And we repeatedly offered you a position. Oh, yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune. That is what she wants. Whatever, forget it. Turn my back at them. Elite class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Isao. I'll leave now then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Mango, 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 don't. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all. Leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I can tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes instead of opting to cover the board in rows of equations taken directly from the book. Their rhythmic clashing of chalk on the blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equation doesn't pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. The bell rings. I'm not in a hurry. I've got nothing to do. I stay for a while, reviewing while we're covering classes. I prefer to be last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowd in the hallways. I noticed Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is sounding so fast that her hands make noise like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there's pent-up anger in there. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down, whatever they're discussing. It looks like serious business. Shizune sounds to the point where her wrist crackled, and Misha struggled to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters. Then on top of that, she has to sign back everything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, the business is finished as the girls sit down in their seats again. Oh, I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I used the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune without getting roped to the student council thing again, so I suspect that door is not closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be talking and taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after the classes, they're always talking about the plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. Probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, trying to decide whether to ignore or stare at me. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly to Misha. She must have practiced it rigorously. Well, of course, we're the student council, you know, we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves if some of the past student council generations the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws, I think that was encumbrances? No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. Suzune's passionate speech and Misa's enacting a really oddly fitting bump. Oh, hello. Hanako. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hitting behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard and meets a straightforward jab, even if it was all in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen, wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, I haven't seen Sadao. She came by in the morning though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What are you trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away. She is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's own behavior. This is what happens when two people with two different extremes meet, it seems. Fuck this guy. Do you know where she is? She has any sense in her head. She's in her classroom working on their festival project, but who knows where that woman is loading her at? Find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah, Bakura-chan. I can come with you, Bakura-chan. If it's okay. Yes, Bakura-chan. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. Kind of understanding why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her, but I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly, so she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down and match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going for a stroll together, something that I can't say I've really done before with the girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach from me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me, given how shy she is. This doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? Just at the library. I was reading. So she does spend a class, she just skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right? You're right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered thick gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So you Lily usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That was much rather obvious after all. It doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. It must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod, comparing to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech. Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content that the discussion reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we were met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. Mango, 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 mango. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Okay, are you alright? Just keep going. Students pass us without as much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building. Her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have ever been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to be clearly shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence, while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess you found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here at first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to class 3-2, with Hanako lesson subtly positioning herself behind me, open the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the thin is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them, carefully negotiating a path for the various students hunched over the floor for lack of desk space. I raise a hand entirely out of the habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. She perks her head up as she breaks off talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best she can. Sorry, who? Sorry, Sal. I'm Hanako too. Hi. She's pretty skittish, considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For a moment, just ask Mariah for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners ready. A quick nod as she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn her about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in the corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. That's right. Class 2, especially for students preparing for the festival, must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I can give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. Chance to set her mind on something would do her good. I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods an affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief. It's good. This might actually get it finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for her to do. Nobody else can help. Kenji, sure. She's surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast, friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings remind me of the reason put her up to helping in the first place. Well, we'll go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask him if you have any problems. Chorusing an accent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white silico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint, soaked the brush along the large half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet of pencil. Kenji? Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me, Hisao. From the... What the fuck? Right, I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's here. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello? Oh, hey, I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His sudden... How do you spell that? Fuck. Hey, we're gonna learn vocab on the way, alright? Fox. Fox paw, that was a word earlier.
Faux pas.
Faux pas, an embarrassing or tactless act or more. What does faux mean? False. Oh, fake, okay. Embarrassing or tactless or more social choice. faux pas. A sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Right, woman, on second thought, this might not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting the several small paintings on the ground around it. Class 3-2 noodle stall? You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside or something. Something. It's non-committal. His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So, how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text in mind, you do borders. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time I've put brush to gloves, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially, though. Okay, man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep in the cover? I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or ignoring him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously, it sucks. There's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. You gotta stick together, man. It's a harsh school, harsh world. Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied and sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. Two of us connect up the lines to our patterns, mine being as close a copy as I can manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off. A sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise, it's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I throw her hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist, for her scars extend even to there. So how much of her body was burned. It says burnt scars, okay. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I'm at the banner. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. So in Japan, there's like in anime and everything, there's always a festival. I've never really heard of it outside of Japan. Like even with clubs, like they have like club meetings and all that, like after school with just the students. Like here we have clubs, right? But like it's nothing close to what it's like in these animes and shit, bro. But this shit seems better, but like I want a festival, bro. I mean we have other shit, but like festival seems cool, bro. Like it's mostly like student orientated, you know? But whatever, good shit. We finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lily gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you. It's fine. Be sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room. Yep, just finished. He carefully slides the sign onto an empty section of shelf to dry before quickly walking past us and out the door. See ya, man. Bye. The remaining two students said their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess it's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed, the class plans this year are ambitious, maybe too ambitious. Stars look nice though. She's right, it shows that a lot of work's gone into them. My. I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late, should we go? actually a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Isao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. Nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different. Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from dorms trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but not more. No more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly, gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a little bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune took me out of kind of guard, I guess. Grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world is behind it. Ah, about that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice seemed slightly irritated as she remembered Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glanced at Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is unsurprisingly evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over, in any case. The change of topics welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine my old school's festival were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stressed the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions. Yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, saving the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school will help me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. That'll go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As you come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See Lily, Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As is to be expected of such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Walking past them, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long before walking to my room. Feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. Made a promise I'm going to keep it. Besides, Amy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. My morning alarm goes off and I flare about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this is my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again. Why's that? Well, not many people actually managed to come back for a second try. She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears she'd forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappeared entirely, and she seemed to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes, but no. So come on. I found myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seemed to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Amy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient and work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emi seems to have grown impatient, keeping pace with me. And begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Fuck yeah, fuck it. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let me pull ahead? I speed up. The second left's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Emi looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? I'm gonna fucking die, sorry. Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Emi laughs, stop breaking her stride no less, and speeds up even more. Okay, I'm gonna die. I increase my pace. Okay, I'm dead. I feel my lungs burning, and my legs start to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind because that'd be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we started playing a game. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she keep up? Oh, fuck. I should have done that. I'm gonna die now. It's like a string pulling on my chest, a choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, then, oh shit, the track disappeared from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting. I'm dead. Fuck. Knew I shouldn't have done that. I stumble, one hand shooting down, like clutch on my chest. Bro, I was on my David Goggins type shit. I was like, fuck it, we gotta keep on going. I stumble, one hand shooting down, a clutch on my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Emi whirls around her and her eyes widen. He's out! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Nothing, I'm just fucking dying. Keep your breathing steady. Calm down, don't panic. Don't panic. So you need me to get a nurse? I close my eyes, shutting in. Oh, I'm fucking dead. Heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing? No, something happened there. Gotta let the nurse know, bro. I open my eyes again and glance at the very word Emi. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself, oddly even. Matter of fact, it makes Emi frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emi grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse to shoulder Emi off her support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emi concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own, without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nigga, nurse. I meant nurse. Emi cries into his office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine? Anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug but lays it down after following Emi's gaze to look to me looming in the doorway. Peace out? What brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest, and I thought I'd come get you and make it. Bro, no, whoa. I gotta read that shit. Whoa, I can't even see that shit. I'd come get you and make him wait. I can't. Okay, that's some other shit. I'd come get you and make him wait there, but he said he was okay, but then I thought you should see him anyway. He's there, Emi. Calm down. He saw what happened. I don't know, we were running and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter, some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested some exercise. You gotta be more careful, Isao. I was being careful, I just come to think of it. I just got into a race with a member of the track team. It doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. Guess what? That is, I was racing Emi. Emi, is this true? Emi fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well, I didn't tell her my thing, did I? Well. Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud and really nods. He didn't tell me nothing, though. Then her sighs and rubs at her forehead with one hand tiredly. Emi, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but he sounds a bad heart. Getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Or actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by that statement. You what? We were just running and Emi started to pull away and I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling and mutters, prayer for patience to some god or another. He looks back down at the both of us. So you're both stupid. Great. That's a comfort, I guess. Now come on, Hiso. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. The fuck is on the screen? I dutifully obey him. Follow him to the adjacent room where we are certain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So, how does it feel? I don't know. Nothing much. It's hard, but it might just be from exercise. Just stay here for a few hours and rest. We'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. He looks awfully down and sorry. My reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you. Again with that decisive nod. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really good. I start with, you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good. We meet on the roof. We? Yep, the weather's nice now, so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know? And they do that too, they have lunch on the roof. Like, we saw in animated shit, like, okay, we have lunch on our roof, dude. Come on, bro. I want to have lunch on the roof. Shit, we barely get to have lunch outside, bro. I know at some schools they probably don't even have lunch outside. Ours barely. So seniors and older people can have lunch outside. And there's like a couple of little ass tables. Most seniors don't even go out. I see. So come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you? Of course not. I feel like I live in a super anime kawaii world. Life would be so much better. Great, see you there. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and I try to lie as still as I can, which in this day is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I'm fucking dead. I close my eyes. The breeze in my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer. My own heavy breathing. Steady. Damn it, not even we can end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better to play the half-baked support star in front of a real... Why would I do that? I'm only retarded, bro. I knew I was gonna die. Dude. Or come close to it. Why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flare was no big deal, even when it was obvious that it was. It's just a reflex to push it away, to keep it inside. Didn't want it to happen. Didn't want Amy to see it. Stupid. Let's be more careful. I'll end up in a hospital again or worse. That's my final thought before I gave in to the tiredness. I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? Can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too tired. Thomas said. Me croaking the question to gain some orientation. The nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to happen in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. Is he retarded? You didn't answer my question, Lisa. Fine. Climb down from that bed then, and let's see how you're doing. Don't try to do exactly that. I'll just sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by my arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly. Is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed of myself while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption in my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking for neither pleased nor unhappy. "You're right. Head stop spinning?" "Yeah. Good. How are the constants doing?" "Didn't show very good judgment out there, you saw." I swallowed the retort I was gonna make. It's what I was thinking to myself, but hearing it started by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant here. Doesn't make him any less right. "No, sir." He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, "I told you so," or something, but he doesn't. "I can try and help you to keep your health, but ultimately, the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that'll remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher, to avoid an interrogation." Take the slip of paper he's offering and then makes my leave, so I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. "Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time it'll be different. I hear you." There's some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go out from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building deliberately for a moment between classes before going to the dorms to get my books and stuff, going straight away to class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. The halls are quiet as the courtyard was. Naturally so, since, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Ever since, I've been playing this shit, I've been playing this for a minute, 2 hours, bro. My heart's like... The halls are quiet as the courtyard was. Naturally, so, since everyone is in class, I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door where Mutao calls from the other side. Oh, fuck my heart. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. "Good morning, Nakai." Mutao seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his classes tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Mutao takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me a kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug, and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. Class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Mutao finished his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. "So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. Hope everyone's project is going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food." Everyone burst out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I meant more was the remainder of sentences is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts back into things. Mutao deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to be paying attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally, I join the flow and grab a lunch for myself, but today's different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. Odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find some shelter from the storm and to leave the classroom door. Eventually, the torrent subsides and I step tentatively out into the hallway, only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. "Hey, hi Isao, great timing. Have super extra lunch today, as promised. Let's go upstairs." The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with the missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing and posingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. "Hello, that's fucking Ren." "Yipes, you scared me, Ren." "Told you, bitch." "Wait, isn't she?" "Hello?" Noticing that Ren is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. two know each other? Look confusedly at me. She's that friend of yours? Oh, right. I think Ren did tell me something about having a sporty friend, right? Just like to eat lunch. Ren has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. Awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds, so Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited you out for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food, or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walked to the other end of the roof while I stayed at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. Small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peeked through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle. What is that? Oh my god, that's a word I do. Oh my god, I don't know how to say that. Quadrangle? Quadrangle? Quadrangle. Quadrangle. Quadrangle? Quadrangle? That's literally a word in math. Now, am I retarded? Am I fucking stupid? Quadrangle. Oh, it's like a thing in the school. How do you say that?
Quadrangle.
Quadrangle. Okay, I thought it was. I'm thinking of a fucking quadrilateral. Alright, quadrangle. And at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards a convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feels strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. Hold on, say it real quick. Okay, I'm still in this bit, thankfully. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. Okay. Good again. Hold on, bro. I need my shelf storage. Okay, welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. It's been a while. This might be in the middle of a part. I honestly don't give a fuck at this point. I honestly just don't. Like, I have time, but I don't have time to, like, play a game for a long period of time. You know, I have shit to do in between. You feel me? So, yeah, I don't give a fuck about I can't really make long gaming videos, whatever. This is the best I could do. Just like split, trim all that shit together into one thing, feel me? But yeah, it's been a minute. I searched up what Katawa Shoujo means. It means crippled girls. I thought it'd be honestly something sweeter, but fuck it. So it is, right? Crippled girls, fuck it. Yeah, man. Bro, bro, time flies quick, bro. It feels like yesterday I was just playing this shit. It's been 2 weeks. And I started the game about 2 months ago, which sounds about right, so let's get it going. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depends on it or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only 1 short year. Hold on. I just want to look at what was going on. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of a clock tower, it's still open. I feel warm touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear, cerulean view. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers. Not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench at the inn in Tao and produces 1 big and 2 small lunges from her bag. Okay, we're with Emmy, which is... Oh, I think it's left, bitch. Because I think the right is Rin. I think. Come on, Isao. What are you waiting for? My name's Isao, yes. She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I see myself in the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Okay, that's Emmy on the left. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places the lunchbox in front of Ren, hands the lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch, as promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make them myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Ren deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed by her dexterity. It also reminds me of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if I had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full and swallowed before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choked on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Amy answer the question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well. So we were assigned rooms next to each other. I mean, one of y'all niggas don't got legs, one of y'all niggas don't got arms. Seems fucking complimentary. Compliment each other. Like shoes and a suit, huh? I mean, giggles on my confusion. Put us together, we got all limbs. Get it? Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed up every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that'd be difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now. It will save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I was right about that, sorry. The floor as she reaches into her bag, removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Ren that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with a pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Ren dexterously stabs her straw to the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comments to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Ren are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Ren especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Sao, how do you like it up here? Quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess for now just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I love to eat lunch up here again. Good location and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Ren, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Ren shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. Afternoon class passes. Once again, I found myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the books I borrow onto the return slot counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. No. That's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the counter where Hanako had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. But there she is. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time to get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple books to get and slide them off the shelf. With the minimum of fuss, I quickly... You know what, bro? I don't know where my glasses are. Shit. Looks blinding. I like it. The minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter and check out my books and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students from the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. My glasses dirty as hell. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventure into Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I remember I actually read the original book. Just as trippy as I remember the story to be. The wacky characters and nonsense plot. I start thinking of myself as some kind of Alice too, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into this crippled wonderland. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way this school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It is like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most of everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heart beat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it has since that time in the forest with Iwanako. Like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. Damn. You can read 200 pages like that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bad reader, bro. Like, I read very slow. Like, I don't read it often at all, but like, when I do, bro, hey, I'll finish the book in a couple of months. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. There's only a day left to prepare, so I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Mutao lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students are the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work, not wanting to break the trend. I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That could probably be attributed to the 2 empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. Very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I think that's me? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Mitsuo approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Mutao stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an incident the other day. Ah, so it's about that. Well, kind of, but it's not anything to be worried about. Yes, it is. Anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best here to prepare you for life here. Part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It would be remiss of me if I didn't speak up about this. Alright, I get it. I'm sorry. Mutao closes his eyes in frustration, and I realize that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me that you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't normal school. A lot of people have put in a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that you and every other student here can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain selfish. I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels, or if it is some act that he's practiced many times to guilt trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand. This is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I'll be sticking to them. Mutao appears to lighten up a little, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Mutao taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was really trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you gotta keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Alright, wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Mutao's serious talk is over and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really have to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Mutao pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I considered replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back to his classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Mutao does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got some there. The class returns to the near silence that Mutao and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparation in the way. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away, until finally the bells cry out, ending the tournament. Shit, I didn't do that. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. The class size is one and still regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the question so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally hard for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either. So an impressive silence falls upon the classroom. Fuck. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages in my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil leaves splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sound of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watched Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand and staring at the desk dejectedly. Boredom evidently becomes too much for her though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there is nothing else to do in the classroom. Hold on. Okay. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else either. School is a beehive back to nobody pays me any head. I saunter past classrooms filled with students frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day's over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, easy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a pressure. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I do. I'll drop off my books at the dorm first, then something haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji is in there. On the way to the dorm despite, and me coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. Way better run. She skids to a stop. Yo, he's out. Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose, and she respects me. Her smile is wide, as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she's examining me. What you doing? Nothing really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect. Then you can help me and Ren. With the festival preparations? I'm not sure if I would be much help. That's fine. I'm not much help either. Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school, quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself, simply trying to keep up. The stairs slow me down a bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the third floor into the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here, waiting for Emmy, had I known. So are you? Is Rin working on that mirror still? That's right. She needs all kind of paints and brushes and stuff, so I want to get them from the art classroom. You need me to help with that? Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny, crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they have been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing papers are boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. It smells of paint. Turpentine and fresh paper float with a stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Emily studies her notes, comparing notes and markings on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels in a fraction of a second she can see them, and catch what she can. So surprised that she fails miserably, almost manages to break the entire shelf, crashing down. Now I see why me lending a hand with here would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height. You're not. She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. The grudging turns her back to me. Some corny anime shit, but fuck it. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf of paint wall below, and me crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little after double checking to ensure she can't see me to do so. And me having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Dude, where the only after we have almost all the items collected and spread it out on a desk like a treasure hunter spoil, do I realize that I wasn't necessarily height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told that she can't do something, like jump. But Amy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items, then make our way back to Ren. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Vin is really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault though. She should have started earlier. Is she gonna make it? No idea. Let's get me about Ren. You never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in a fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painting again like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kind of unhinged. And me giggles at that, as well as my likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind it, she's just a little weird sometimes. On that I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rince, whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Season do. Them working as a single entity sometimes. It's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Amy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all. Different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again, as if it encompasses Rin personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for lengthy description like oddities. And me giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. You know, earlier she just spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. Just says, all that time. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over even more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures have almost been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange. Weird imagery, imaginary things populating the space between. Looks nice. I can't think of any word that will describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settle myself in a nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems that the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is in the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was naturally part of the scene. Her pant legs had been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs which sport a drying spectrum of war paintings, similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to run ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back! That was fast. Did he run in the corridors again? He's out, help me. Emmy points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking in my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night, a vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me, and movements like in a slow-motion movie. Hello, Exile. Thank you for the help. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you made progress. Looking good as far as I could tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course, not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance. Their favorite TV shows are canceled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. The deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they're blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep. There's a boy. At the art club, you see. Blind boy, so he doesn't see. See? He should become a fuck. He should become an artist. No bad luck guaranteed. Don't you think that'd be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize, but can't remember the name of. Emmy rearranges the supplies he brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need that Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue? She's staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with the Prussian blue paint in it. Jeez, Ren, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. While none of the blues looks more Prussian than the others, the small prints... Prussian? I don't know what that is. Something to do with Russia, maybe like prehistoric Russia? My guess. I know there's a mall of Prussia, or in Philly. It's like the biggest mall in Pennsylvania. I think it's called like the King of Prussia Mall. That's all I know. Is it where the Persians are from? I don't fucking know. The small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents of being Prussian. There is no Prussian blue here. I don't know how to say it. When do you gotta get more then? I open my mouth to say that actually, we're not both needed for such a simple task like finding another pot of Prussian blue. The Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I waved to Ren, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving. Well, she'll notice when she goes for Prussian blue and finds out it's still not there. Maybe. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking of how weird Ren is, Emmy's dragging me back to the art classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush? Huh? Emmy's giving me an appraising look, as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. Comprehension draws on her face. You're not out of breath, are you? It's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but then I realize that I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. Guess it's kind of obvious. A little. Not everybody can be in shape, you know. It takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowned. It's not a particularly good frown. That is, I should get in shape. Not that I hadn't already decided to try for that. After that flutter on the track, I figured there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my first alarm. Well, actually I wasn't, but it was fun. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emmy come to some sort of decision. Well, that's it then. She gives me a serious look. You're joining me. I beg your pardon? In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I've got a routine all planned out. In fact, she produces a crumpled sheet of paper. I've got it right here with me. I take this sheet of paper and give it a once-over. Times, dates, and laps all laid out. Slow increase from just a few laps a day to, my God, does she expect to have me running marathons? And where does she find the time to get this all together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this? A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you to make sure you exercise like he told you to. A vast conspiracy? Maybe like Kenji's onto something here. He seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me. Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now. My God, Kenji, if you could only see the scheme unfolding. What do you need a partner for anyway? It's easier to keep up a workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right? I see. This won't always keep you running, but I'll make sure that I keep running as well. Meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse. And I'll be keeping an eye on you just like he asked. You got on quick as hell. If I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course, but I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a massively executed plan. Well, if you refuse, I'd have to pout. And you'd have to live with being the guy who made it. Ibarazaki. What the hell does that mean? Oh, is that her last name? I was about to shut up. Who made Ibarazaki pout. You don't want that in your conscience, do you? As if to demonstrate, Imi begins pouting. It is the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it. Just don't do that. I feel like I just hit a puppy. So it's settled, right? You want to be my running partner? Follow the workout? And the dietary plan? Dietary plan? Yeah, dietary plan. You gotta eat healthy if you're gonna get in shape, you know? I examined the workout routine closely. Fuck. I don't see a dietary plan here. Alright, I forgot to give that to you. Another crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. Somewhat less detailed. I had the nurse help me come up with it. The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keep me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know many school nurses would get one of their students to bond me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. But I guess I'm not in normal school. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. Then again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our running start? After the festival. Right after? What if I had something to eat there? I could get a stomach ache, you know. I meant the day after the festival. I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should get that paint for in, huh? Oh no, it slipped my mind. By the time we get the paint and get back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Emmy and I both decided to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Rin will find it whenever she comes back anyway. Festival's tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, the week's left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. Good morning, good morning. Ooh. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people with the soba suits, the soba booth, slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not worried about them as I probably should be. No urgent obligation regarding education. I'm free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decided to keep what Kenny's up to today out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans since everyone else is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room, or possibly something like a fort, complete with no girls allowed sign, and with the girls crossed out, and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign. I hear again the settling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. We're just gonna ask you what you're gonna do today. Half the school is out there already. Out where? Why? What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside of people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my currents closed at all times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh, shit. That's today? Ah, damn. Ah, damn it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is going to be a very bad day. Good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day. Why? Oh, man, they're going to be everywhere. The people outside my window, socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's going to be loud as hell. Damn it, I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. It's awful. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn it, I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself, and now it's here and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not gonna do anything today. The weather's even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though, so there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hand. No, I can't do it. They eat me alive out there. I know it. That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face. relatively straight. What do you want to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I wonder. I'm kind of hungry, but I made this deal that I try to take better care of myself. Be healthier, you know? Don't know if I should steer clear of the takoyaki or head straight in. Deal? Sounds ominous. So what are you getting in return? Nothing, I guess? It's not that kind of deal. You know, Emmy from our year, we kind of agreed to watch each other's backs and... Aye! The shrill scream and the expression of abject terror in Kenji's face chilled my blood. It's as if I told a Catholic priest I sold my soul to the devil. Her? You sold your soul to the devil and didn't get anything in return? What the hell is wrong with you, man? Do you know who you're dealing with? She's a public health danger. Do you know how many people she sends to the hospital monthly for their carefully placed flying tackles? She's one of them, a key player in the vast conspiracy that aims for the complete submission of everything that is manly. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I trusted in your judgment, man. I thought we were brothers. You have to call it off before it's too late. This festival too. Just one of their ploys. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm gonna have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so that I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. It's kinda unsettling, and now I start to feel doubtful myself. Should I bother going? I've got a book I've been meaning to read. Something about an underground postal system that may or may not exist. It's short too. I could have finished it in a day, but would that be a good way to spend my time? Well, yeah, definitely would be, but I suppose that would probably be a better idea to head aside, to see the festival, try to integrate with all the other sideshow acts. Honestly, I should at least make an attempt to keep up the somewhat friendly personality I've had this past week. Maybe get something to eat, my stomach suggests. It's almost lunchtime. I could at least grab something from one of the stalls outside. I'm sitting outside surrounded by various students and people who may or not be their parents. Every so often I catch a glimpse of someone who clearly just came up from this town for the promise of the festival. They're eager to spot. The ones who can't stop staring. And behind their eyes you can tell they're thinking, nah, what's wrong with this one? I almost want to yell at them, but at the same time, can I deny that I've been doing the same thing all week? A wave of something like disgust sweeps over me. Guilt for my own narrow-mindedness. I push the thoughts aside, concentrating on the pangs of hunger that burn my guts like a wildfire. The scent of something fried leads me to the promised land, where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Having break or lunch? Breakfast? You mean you just got up? Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime. No, I meant lunch, honest. She's not buying it. Brunch? That's not a healthy breakfast at all. She snatches my food out of my hand and glares at me. What the hell is this girl doing? Hey, it's my breakfast. What happened to being your lunch? It's mine, whatever, it's my food. Let me place her hands on her hips and begins lecturing me. Did you really forget about your dietary plan already? You need to be more conscious of your health, Sal. What about your heart? Heart's fine the way it is, mostly. All I get in response is a roll of the eyes. I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if that was the case, would you? The girl's got a point, of course. But I'm not about to concede it. It's not that bad of a heart. Surely you can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure. And it handled a little running just fine, too. Emmy seems unconvinced. Not surprising, because I haven't even managed to convince myself. Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time. The devious look suddenly crosses her face. Of course, if you've been following a routine from the beginning, you wouldn't be in this situation. Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. For example, I almost died. Oh, that's me. Hold on. Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. For example, I almost died. There was a lot of meeting people, and then I was on a roof for a while. Which is no excuse for slacking off, you know. A little near-death experience is no excuse for skipping basic exercise. Like running in the mornings. She nods as if something important has just been decided. So let's settle then. You've seen the error of your ways and are willing to adhere to my routine, right? I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies? You know, you'd already convinced me yesterday that this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Not that I did a good of a job of being convinced. She's right about eating healthy after all, and here I am ordering up something grossly unhealthy. But delicious. There are more important things than deliciousness, aren't there? Like staying alive. And me weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions. I probably... Hey, wait a second. Sudden question springs to my mind. Hey, why the hell have you taken such an interest in my well-being? And me shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figure you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week, right? I'll leave you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Uh-huh. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thanks for the concern. Tomorrow morning then, huh? I figure that ends the conversation, so I turn to leave. Not so fast. I feel a hand on my collar, and in a second I've been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want now? Amy looks almost wounded about my annoyed question. Thought you could use company. Her eyes narrow. Besides, you were just going to try to sneak some more of that fried crap, weren't you? Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentioned it, that would have been a really good idea. I was not. With a glare. Okay, maybe I was going to get a little. Glare continues. Okay, a lot. Jesus, I'm dangerous myself and others, aren't I? I get done agreeing that I need to be healthier, and then immediately start considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way. I knew it. You can't be trusted. Now I definitely have to stick with you. This whole situation is so silly. I can only imagine what passersby think of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine. Do what you like. I sigh. Might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? Let me think for a minute. Well, I promised I'd win. I'd stop by your mural. So let's do that. I confess I'm slightly curious as to how our mural turned out myself. So again, I consider there are worse fates. I give a nod of assent and find myself almost dragged bodily through the crowd as Amy races to our destination. By the time we reach the dorms, I can feel my heart pounding. Does she live far? My heart shouldn't be pounding after just that. I take a few deep breaths, willing myself to calm down. I'm one of the most normal-looking people in the school, but I still have to be here. Sometimes I almost wished I'd lost a hand or something. At least, then it'd be obvious that I belong. But instead, I don't even look sick. Even now, trying to catch my breath, I just look out of shape. Amy looks back and notices my straight distress. You're not going to die on me, are you? Please don't. It'll be all my fault. I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt. Besides, after the last time, I really don't think I need to see that again. Especially because the nurse will totally say it's my fault. Nah, I'm fine. Guess I need to start running after all. You wanted to keep eating your greasy, whatever it was. See, it's a good thing I found you, right? Yes, it was. Maybe. Of course, I don't add that I wouldn't be in this state if she hadn't dragged me across the festival grounds. Further conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Ren. Oh, it's you. Hello, Amy. Hey, Ren, I brought Isao along because he was going to give himself a heart attack. I was not. My objection goes unnoticed. We stopped by to see how the mural turned out. Ren nods slowly. Well, it's right there. You can see it pretty clearly. I found myself wondering how long Ren's been standing here in front of the mural. Has anyone even stopped by and look at it? We're the first ones? Obviously, we're not the first to see it, of course. I mean, it's pretty big. You'd be hard-pressed not to see it. At the same time, I don't think anyone's actually talked to Ren about it. Anyone but us, that is. I feel compelled to say something. It looks pretty good. I'm still not happy with how it turned out. But I guess it'll do. She seems almost resigned to it. I'm not sure what she expected as a result, but I guess she didn't quite get there. I think it's pretty dope. I don't know what the fuck that is, just ladies intertwined together with titties, maybe? That looks like that one album cover. Like multiple faces again intertwined with one person looking annoyed. We stand in front of the mural, taking it all in. That is feet mixed with more feet and faces and eyes and lips and scary dude, wherever the fuck that is. Okay, I try my best to concentrate on the composition of the thing. It's actually fairly interesting. The colors should blend together, dragging me along with them. There's a dreamlike quality to the whole thing that makes me feel almost sleepy. I try hunting out some of the colors that Amy and I grabbed for more titties. Nice. Try as I might, I can't see any Prussian blue. Oh well. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. My feet start to hurt, but Rin doesn't seem inclined to move on. Emmy speaks up. Hey Rin, have you eaten? Of course, you can't survive otherwise. What about in the past 5 hours? Maybe, but I'm hungry again, so maybe that means I'm wrong. Emmy grins and claps her hands together. Good. Come get some food with us. Rin nods in assent. Okay, but we should hurry before they notice I'm gone. Somehow, I don't think they care, whoever they are. As we head back to the food stalls, I cast a longing eye over the fried food. No, I better not. I'm pretty sure Emi wouldn't let me anyway. We find a nice spot on the grass and sit down to eat our purchases. Well, my purchases anyway. Somehow I've wound up paying for all the food. Surprisingly, my unfried food is pretty good. Silence falls as Emi and I eat, and Rin stares at something or other, occasionally eating a bite or two of her food. I finish my meal first, and I lay back on the grass. Emi glances up from her food. Tired as hell. Little, I guess. Well, don't oversleep Rin tomorrow morning. We start our morning rounds, remember? Actually, they just slipped my mind. I was actually just enjoying myself, wandering around the festival with these two. It's actually been fun. Yeah, I'll set an alarm. You better be there. I'll get angry if you aren't. God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock shorts out. There might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random acts of God then. The plan forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel kind of guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried food. Anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine I'll start not now. Ergo, the dietary portion starts tomorrow too. Ergo, what the fuck does that mean? I can have something unhealthy today. Sort of final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat while the band moved for the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm going to run in the morning, I should make it an early night. Those narrowed eyes again. You sure you're not just gonna sneak off and buy some of that fried stuff over there? Nah, I'm too full to bother now. Pat my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two have cleaned me out anyway. Emmy giggles. It's a surprisingly pleasant sound. Another pang of guilt. You've got to know that I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just that trusting? I feel kind of like a monster. I'm part of my master plan, Isao. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thank you for the food, and for keeping us company. Here I thought she was doing me a favor. Rin nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm sure I'm out of Emi's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stand to buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? It's slightly better than I was planning to do. I still feel a little bad about lying to Emi though. It really does seem considered about health. I'll make it up to her somehow too. Hey, I can relate to this rubber trying to eat more healthy. Like I promise I have the worst diet ever. Like every day I eat some sort of bullshit. Like the only time I eat healthy is when my mom makes dinner for me, and sometimes that's not healthy. You know, she makes some unhealthy shit too. Or you know, it's mostly healthy, but you know, I'll give myself a pretty big serving size, you feel me? Then it just turns out, and especially the fact that I don't exercise at all, turns into some unhealthy shit, but I'm trying to eat healthier, you know? Yeah. So I can maybe get a better physique, stop being a fucking fat ass, and, you know, maybe go up the stairs without feeling like I did a whole fucking hour workout. I'll make it up to her somehow. Better head back to my room. Yeah, I do have work to do. Yeah, I've been trying to eat more healthy, feel me? And it's a little bit of a struggle, you know? The cake's there, the candy's there, but I know I can't eat it, and it sucks. My book waits for me, and I flop onto my bed and read through the fireworks display. Eventually, all the walking around, or more accurately, running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Me dragging me out in the morning to run might just be a good thing after all. Something to look forward to. What time is it? I bet. We're running. Has there been a cutscene yet? The first cutscene? Damn, you saw you slow as hell, bro. love at first sight. Oh my god, I thought that was the end of the game. I don't know why. My alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Class is still quite far off, but I agree to run with Emmy in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Emmy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emmy's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy, too. At the very least, I'm sure Emmy and Ren made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late. It would seem that Emmy's already there. What a relief. Not according to my watch. We are both early, in fact. Damn, you got me there. Emmy is sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. I knew it. Nice to know Emmy was on my side at least. Emmy hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I'm assuming that means it's flexible. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized that I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay though, so maybe I'm just very gross. Amy giggles as she's watching me stretch out. No, Lisa, you got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying, it kinda hurts a little. Ha, that's because you're out of shape. You gotta get some flexibility, like this. Demonstrate, Amy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. God bless you. I see. That's the sort of thing I just strive for. Of course, flexibility is important for a running runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. That makes no sense to me, but Amy seems to believe it's true. With Emmy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. Can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Sal. Come on, we better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? With 4 laps around the track, got it? Sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? Hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emmy says a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Sal? Roger. Around the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I started to breathe through my mouth. Emmy doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you okay, Sal? Never met her. No, really? Maybe I should just speed up then, huh? No, I wouldn't want you to. Overexert yourself. My heavy pouncing and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emmy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the bossy, Sal. We'll stay at this pace. I got the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also awash in sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, and Amy looks back into the ground. Hello. Okay. Yeah. But I'll shit myself. Nice shit. One of us, go. Here we go. She takes off at a blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across backstretch, Emmy continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Isao, you can do it. I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting errands in my legs and ignoring burning my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Dude, that's cheating. She didn't feel her legs, bro. She didn't have any. Gotta be easier, bro. Come on. And Miki's pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. Seems she wears this black sports bra. Okay, weirdo. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly, I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for a first effort, Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Emmy seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've gotta get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out, and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great, you bugger bitch. My legs are on fire, and my breathing's still heavy, but surprisingly my heart seems to be taking this train well. Or the triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. Surprisingly, she's right. I began to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though that is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her on the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, holy shit, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Shit. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap run with me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emmy's got her hands behind her head now as well, which make her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly, so I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act a gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. Okay, you fucking pervert. So how do you feel, Isao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow through my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with the adrenaline? Emmy thinks for a moment as you walk, trying to remember. And she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling though, isn't it? Better than sex, right? Dude, what the fuck? Is this like some sort of NSFW game? I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she just said. Emmy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emmy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no, we better get a move on, Isao. Class is in an hour. I need a shower. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note being like, this isn't a NSFW game, I'm pretty sure. Dude, come on, dude. I just want to be friends. Fuck. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emmy points to her prosthetics as if that'll explain anything. Does that explain everything? It's important to check for irritation, you know, from sweat or friction or anything. Normally I only go after practice, but if we're going to be doing these morning rounds, then I guess I'll see him twice today. Wait, so Emmy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? It's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time. Don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. both need exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yes, perfect. Did it have to be me, though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise. Doctor's order, even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal, the middle of the day. Come have it with us. Where? The rooftop. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime. When else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Emmy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Esau. See ya. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. Hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. I managed to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart surprisingly feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose it's a good thing, even if it does make me feel a bit like a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape and my heart will bother me. Guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Amy won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. Can't be that hard, so. Hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning runs. Maybe doing this with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. So the run's giving me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packed stuff when I moved in. And a good thing too, fucking at my mouth is pretty bears now. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream. I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Amy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Amy among the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face, body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down? Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Can you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha! That caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Amy chose at that moment to burst the door carrying two bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. Rin's offended by Amy's comment. She doesn't show it. Amy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another from witnessing the beginnings of catfighting. The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into two smiles. Hey Amy, do you think being upside down is all things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Amy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. At least she's as lost as I am. Hey, Sour, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Sal, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you wouldn't even show up at my track meet? Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I'd have just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all, that's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes at me. Good idea, Ren. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like by some outside force, pushing me irrevocably toward my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I've never heard the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. You didn't? Forgot? Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on the calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. So Probably a good idea, you know. Less time changes its course. You can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. Non-committal shrug. I don't know what that means. Hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Need lotion. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do. Do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be your default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize it's now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Amy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Amy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time, it's Amy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. In response to the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Amy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Oh, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as above rings. I didn't notice the lunch break slipping by at all. Stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seemed rather smug as she delivered this line, like she just won an argument. You mean no reason? Did you make sure the garbage gets thrown away? I used to clean up on myself, but I gotta run. Sure enough, you make garbage away with energy and I don't bother asking her. She'll get help. She already seems preoccupied with something else entirely she wanders off. Maybe because it doesn't fucking hands, dude. She's probably used to Emmy taking care of me, but something turned out Edie's never raised the issue. Eating up for lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss her garbage into class. We took reason with the way we leave his grin as I walked through the door. I haven't seen this much in a while. Didn't see you in the cafeteria, John. Yeah, I decided to get out of there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh, really? Pretty sure you weren't participating in an isolate rendezvous? Right? We're both Rin and Amy, no less. You Casanova, you. We just had lunch, that's all. Misha burst into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. Wah ha ha, you're so adorable when you blush like that, Ichan. Excuse me, the conspiratorial wink. Don't worry, your secret's safe for me. There's no secret. Oh? Misha seems disappointed and then Brian's up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and the class starts. No, I'm at the bus. Okay, I'm just making sure this shit works. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. Pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seem unwilling to stand up for a moment. Okay. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway and make my way to my room. I sit down and half-heartedly chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking at a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows this is what it's eat, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I could take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now let's see, what was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is unusually out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student couch room, I just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for... well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Amy's probably down there. Track practice is just ending as I grab the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already? What are you doing down here yourself? Come to spy on me, have you? Give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figured that's about right. At the moment, Amy's the only person I can think of who I can visit. So, I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody cool around, so I'll have to go see Amy? Is that what you thought? She actually looks angry. Chance for some teasing of my own presence presents itself. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Amy pouts, widen her eyes to give the maximum amount of puppy dog resemblance. Kidding, I was kidding. So you weren't down here to stalk me. Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Amy laughed at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose, but you forget about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding this point. Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too. So, really, I might take some effort to stalk. What do you two do together? What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot of common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes the superior air. That's what you think. I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know? Oh, really? Like what? Amy puts her head to one side as if she's trying to remember what it is she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Amy's a girl after all, but Rin comes with you? We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes the music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps her focus. That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Amy wags a finger at me. Now. Why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow, I think that's all that Amy has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question's been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, is she? Peace out, you're an asshole, bro. This comment causes Amy to laugh loudly. Ha! That's the understatement of the year. So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff. So I figured you hang out with a lot of people. I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Amy seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your classes. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. I'm not even sure why I want to know this. Guess it is because lunch was so strange. Amy shrugs, looking for a moment, very Rinish. It's because we have similar outlooks. If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like, okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes? I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And that's why we're similar. You lost me. Amy frowns as if trying to figure out her own answer. Well, maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons. Anyway, what I'm just saying. You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art, is that it? Well, sort of, let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like, she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean slowed down by anything? Amy looks surprised and points to her legs. You know, because I'm a runner, and Rin's a painter, even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out, I think. I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Amy's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along. I think that's really all that matters. I suppose she got a point there. Another question strikes me, and since I've got nothing better to do, I ask it. So what got you into running anyway? I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby. A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got to get a few more laps in before I go see the nurse. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken on a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. I watch her run for a little while and then stand up to head back to my room. Hey! He spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning, got it? Got it. Head back to my room. Homework beckons. Can't sleep. My body's tired, but my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling in the hollow darkness of my room. I grasp disbelief for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe I'm just not as used to my new surroundings as I'd like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm awake and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning. Last time I checked, it was only 1. So maybe I slept a little. I don't know. I throw on some clothes and head out of my room. A walk might do me some good. I'm surprised at how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. Because it's 4 a.m., buddy. I can almost see my breath as I wander the campus, waiting for the sun to come up, or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. I find myself at the track, where for the first time, Amy's not running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early, even for her. The bleacher seats are cold, but at this point, I welcome the sensation. The sun is starting to show its face over the horizon, and I know with an awful certainty that I'll get no more sleep tonight. The sun's steadily strengthening rays start to warm me up, and I watch the dew on the ground begin to steam slightly. My mind calms down a little. Someone's shaking me. Hey, wake up! Huh? Where, Bliss? I guess I fell asleep after all. What are you doing out here? You going to catch a cold or something? I rub my eyes and I'm confronted by Amy, who bends over me with a worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my response comes out in a mumble. Couldn't sleep. Watch the sun come up. Sounds like something random to say. I shrug, feeling the stiffness that comes with sleeping on a bench for a few hours. Is it? I wouldn't know. Amy grins a little at my somewhat cranky response. So couldn't sleep, huh? Obviously we need to run you harder today. Even though I've only known her for about a week, this seems a very Amy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body was plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind was just racing, that's all. I don't see the difference. If you run hard enough, your brain will get tired too. I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing this first thing in the morning. I don't know if my grades would be able to handle me tiring my brain out like that. Amy pulls me up from the bleachers with surprising strength for someone her size. Now come on, Isao, we've got work to do. I don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, I obviously didn't get much sleep. The most sleep I got was on the bleachers. I don't know, should I really be running? Amy glares at me. Good heavens. What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else do you expect to work out the kinks? You've been sleeping on the bleachers for heaven's sake. The best way to get that soreness out is to run around a little. Now stop hiding in the bleachers and get down here. There's no arguing that. I'm pretty sure she'd kill me if I didn't do as she said. I get to my feet and hop down to the track. The sun is warming things up rather nicely, I think. Amy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard pressed not to stare. If this is how I have to wake up every day, I might be able to get used to this. You know, Isao, it's not polite to stare. I wasn't staring, I swear. Amy raises an eyebrow and considers me for a minute, as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. Then she smiles and laughs, shaking her head slowly. Honestly, you didn't have to deny it so strenuously. In response, I clap my hands together and go for a change of subject. What strenuously mean? Gotta expand the vocab, you feel me? Strenuously. In a way that requires great physical exertion. Action efforts. Strenuously. So that's enough stretching, right? Amy gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's how you really tell. Well, I do feel up to run. That's what she means. Yeah, I feel ready to go. Same as yesterday, okay? You'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going really fast. Just worry about keeping the pace. Got it? A mile, bro? Come on. You saw you're better than that. Unless you go 30 million miles. You're the boss. Amy grins again, and we take off around the track. I think I'm gonna die. We're not even done with the first lap, and my legs are on fire. My breath is coming in ragged gasps. I can feel sweat pouring down my brow. We've only just now rounded the second turn. Come on, Lisa. You've got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow we're on the second lap. Amy's not even sweating. How can she do this so effortlessly? For some reason, I'm still moving. It's like a machine. Third lap. What happened to the second? Almost there, Lisa. Liar, we've got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Amy rolls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that. When you say that, you've already lost. You'll have already lost. Keep moving. If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it. Whoa, language. We're on the 4th lap now. You She really seems to want me to keep going. Legs move, move, move. It feels so sluggish. I'm in mud or molasses or tar. Can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretches out. Give it all you've got. I pump my legs as fast as they'll go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's easy, Sal. I knew you had it in you. The anger Emi showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall to my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done this since... Oh God. Please slow down, heart. Just slow down, stop racing. I'm dead, great. I cough and for some reason, feel a grin crossing my face. So this is how I die, huh? Trying to stay healthy? How ironic. Kinda wanna die. Fuck it. I'm all ready to give up right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emmy standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet! Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way. Somehow I manage to stand up. I try to raise my arms above my head, but they feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emi keeps close to me like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emi laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure. Don't really have the breath to say so. That small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emi takes off in her sprints. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help watching Emi sprint. It's weird, but she's like a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder like she did yesterday. Sweat started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping, arms swinging in time, her lips slightly parted. She looks beautiful. Dun dun. After we both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emi changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad today, Sal. There's almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me, you button bitch. Emi colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that. I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what this is all about. What, saying silly things? Emi sticks her tongue out at me. Idiot, I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I didn't know it had to be so painful. But it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day. Really hard the second day. And the third day is easier. You'll still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty, or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent, and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. So you'll have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know. A thought strikes Emi, and her face lights up. Got it? Got what? You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness, but you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emi? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emi and seems completely nervous. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I can hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emi at all. It's like this is sort of routine between the two. Emi does a passive imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I will never do it again. Nisi and the nurse and Emi both laugh at some private moment. Suddenly it seems that he noticed. Hello, Isao. What brings you here? Well, I've been... Isau's officially joined what do you understand? I start to explain, but Amy cuts me off. I thought he might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises his eyebrows in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Isao, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Amy's in the room with me, and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but only seems to amuse him. We're shy, are we? He makes an apologetic bow to Amy. Sorry, Amy. Tried to get you a free show, but it didn't seem that worth it. Amy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole. Amy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, so? I begin to stammer. It's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already at the door. The nurse is laughing as he watches her go. So got it. Ha. I don't follow. He laughs again, like he's in on some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts, and we've had it going on for a while now. Sounds incredibly sinister to me. And it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounds a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. Got hired in the same year Amy started going here. Before that, I worked with Amy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. Nearly killed her and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. I blink at her, receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than a strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. I wave a hand to let him know it's not a big deal. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I've been wondering about what caused him to lose her legs. That was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could have happened. But actually hearing about the facts is a little shocking. Well, thank you. You're a good kid, Isao. I can see why Amy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know. What do you mean? Didn't you see her learn to talk? She gave for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to a point where you can't even think about running again. Amy did it all in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hey, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that he wouldn't let her. Why no? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would stop bleeding where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. That's why she comes by every day after she runs. Say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs gets cut up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough about that. If you don't get your money away soon, Amy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Sal. You didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though. My heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I says this, but then shrugs. Probably just because you're out of shape. But if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much, and of course if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on and the nurse leans out of the doorway to call on Amy. What took you so long? Now I'm gonna be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Isao, that's all. What? Come on, what have I told you about seducing my friends? I'd expected Amy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, but I fear young Isao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Amy regard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you he was funny, didn't I? Huh? I guess Amy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Isao, you should probably get moving. You still need to shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point, and it looks like I've only got a half an hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Amy. Bro.